Good to be here. Thanks for joining. It's Mark Joseph here from Mindful Revolution, and we are most certainly in a mindful mental health revolution. We are taking care of our mental well-being just as much as we are taking care of our physical well-being. And for me, it's so interesting to see in Wimbledon, tennis player like Osaka, in the Olympics, just watching now how some athletes are saying, I need to withdraw. I'm not feeling okay mentally, and I'm not doing okay. And it's really, I know it's traumatic, but for me, it makes me smile because I think to myself, you know what? People are looking after themselves. People are just saying, if I perform or if I compete, I'm going to hurt myself, or I'm going to push myself too hard, or I just can't cope with what's going on. And that's fine. And we can see that. We can see what a toll this year has been on our mental well-being. We can see it in the sports people. I mean, these are champions, the top of their game. But in the last, 400 and somethings, 470 days, it's been traumatic. Friends, let's take a moment to take a deep breath and slow down and relax and reach a place of calm. So let's breathe together. Breathe with me, breathing in through the nose. Fill those lungs nice, and then slowly release out the nostrils. Breathing in again through the nose. And then gently release out the nostrils. And nice and easy, breathing in once again, nice and smooth. Open your mouth and gently sigh that breath out. Give yourself a chance to stop, to turn your phone on airplane mode, to disconnect from your emails and your notifications. Bring yourself into this space, into this session. And I'm not just a part of you, but all of you. Wholeheartedly here in this moment. And if we can do one thing with awareness, we can then do everything with awareness. Our focus determines our reality. Let's breathe in again, nice and calm and easy. And exhaling it out the mouth. Great. Blinking the eyes open. Just a little mindful break. These are breaks that are essential services for self. Essential services, they are extremely important. These are essential services for self, and one can do them throughout the day. You don't just have to do it with me. You can stop, take 5 minutes, breathe, check in with yourself. How am I doing? So it's essential because our mental health is under severe threat for all the loss, grief, overwhelm, panic, anxiety, irritability that we've been through, that we are going through. This pandemic has really highlighted the fact that we are suffering, not only the world and our physical health, but also our mental health and our stress levels. And when our stress levels are down, our immune system is also down. 2020 was not kind to us, and thinking, it really was tremendous. I love pottery. I have this bowl with me. It's my mom used to be a potter, and she gave it up. I don't know why, but these pottery bowls are so beautiful. And if you look at it carefully, you notice it's not perfect. The lines are not straight, and it's not machine made. It was made by hand. It was made by hand. And I guess it's like us, as human beings. None of us are perfect. None of us were born perfect. We came into this world very much like a bowl, and we entered into this world quite innocent. There's no real issues here. It's nice, smooth, and clean. But as we started to grow up, we experienced a few knocks. We might have failed an exam at school, and we felt the pressure of that and the feeling of that disappointment. Maybe a friendship went bad. Perhaps you had your heart broken for the first time. Perhaps you lost a loved one, a parent, a sibling. As we got older, we began to learn that life was not specifically a bed of roses, that it was hard, and we we wanted to become adults so badly, but when we arrived at adulthood, we were like, I want to go back. So this is very much us, and then life started to happen, and specifically in the last few months. And I'm going to take this bowl over here, and I've got this beautiful cover. I'm going to stick it in here like this, and I'm going to close this cover. And as you can see, I'm going to wrap it up. This beautiful brocade Tibetan cover. It's actually used for wrapping books. But for this demonstration, we're going to see what this is used for. Now, along came lockdown. Along came a pandemic. Along came 2020, and it knocked us. This was us, wrapped up in our homes, terrified, and we experienced loss. Just like that, crack, a knock. We got sick, our loved ones got sick, perhaps people died, grief, our plans were cancelled. Our holidays, our travel, entertainment closed down, the churches closed down, children's school, another knock. They didn't get to do their sports, they're behind in their studies. We've been through a tremendous amount of knocks. Even the ability to attend a friend's funeral, or to attend a wedding, or to attend your 50th birthday party, or your 30th, or your 21st. No, a knock, another knock. What other knocks are there that you've been through? Here we are, broken, absolutely broken. And you may not realize it, but so much has changed. If you think about even the things you used to do for stress relief that closed down, like the gyms, or meeting a friend for a coffee or a cappuccino, it was a big knock. And even our sense of self began to change, because we identified ourselves with going to work, with my colleagues, with my office, with my parking space at the office, which was no longer available, which is no longer who we were. Everything changed. Richard Sutton, who's an analyst, said that we've been through so much change in the last 400 days that we're in the fourth industrial revolution, which should have taken 10 years. So what we've done in a year and a half is fast-tracked. We have gone through enormous amounts of change. So here we have these broken pieces. See? Smashed. That beautiful bowl in little pieces. Your life, many broken pieces. And what broken pieces are we sitting with? So as we sit here today with our broken pieces, we also need to know that we don't need to rush and try and fix ourselves. If we are lost, grieving, if we are in a state of anxiety, panic, anger, we can acknowledge those broken pieces. A lot of people try and hide the broken pieces away. We don't want our friends, our family to see. Even some people, when they get the virus, they don't tell anyone because they fear that other people will think of them as weak. I have a friend like that. He nearly died. I didn't even know. I tried phoning him. He did not answer his phone. I knew because he was embarrassed. Stigma. It's ridiculous. And the thing is, we can sit with these broken pieces. We can acknowledge them. I can tell you, I have broken pieces. I was panic buying. I was anxious. I was afraid. We had, we all went through that. I was scared. I suffer from panic attacks. These are my broken pieces, and I'm okay to sit with that. So let's just take a moment to acknowledge these broken pieces. Let's breathe into them. Taking a nice deep breath. Imagine your body into little broken pieces. Parts of yourself that you feel are broken. And we can breathe into our broken pieces, acceptance and care. We can be kind to our broken pieces as if they were little children that we don't need to make orphans. We don't need to hide away or sweep away or throw them in the dustbin. Let's breathe into these broken pieces and just offer them hope. Just offer them a little bit of hope and say, I see you. I acknowledge you, broken pieces. So I've been practicing something called kintsugi. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of it. It's called kintsugi. And it's a Japanese art form. And it's about repairing these broken pieces, putting them back together. And that broken is often, repaired with gold. And the flaw is unique, okay? So it adds to its beauty. Let's have a look at these broken pieces that we're sitting with. What broken pieces are you sitting with? And friends, the friends that are on this call, you're very welcome to pop in the Q&A if there are broken pieces that you are sitting with. Here are a few examples of what many of us have been through. Loss of a loved one, loss of health, job insecurity, our children's school and play, social gathering, loss of paying respects, affected holidays and entertainment, lack of freedom. We're looking at those pieces. Let's acknowledge those pieces. Let's share those pieces together. I myself have not lost a friend or a family member. I've had lots of friends that are sick. I have lots of family that are sick. I have lost the opportunity for a bucket list travel. I was supposed to go to the United States last year, March. The trip got cancelled 2 weeks before we were going to leave. Yeah, I know a lot of you are saying, well, that's nothing. But to me, it was something. And I guess loss of peace of mind. Always having this low level anxiety that something is going wrong, that something could go wrong. But what was it for you? What did you lose? And I'd love to hear from you. I really would. What did you lose? Coming back into the session and just checking in on you. We're exploring those broken pieces today, this morning, and having a look at that. Being with broken, we're calling it. And this kintsugi is a beautiful thing. It's an ancient Japanese art where you take a broken bowl or a broken vase, and its brokenness makes it an art form. And you take those pieces, you rejoin them with glue, and we start to piece ourselves back together. We start to put ourselves back together. So, what broken pieces have you been sitting with? For me, there were two parts in my life, 2 very big years of my life where I was completely broken. A broken time, a time when we are not okay. This particular broken time Look at this picture of this guy. He looks so bleak with his umbrella, and it's pouring with rain. But recall now a year that completely broke you. Recall a year that you were completely broken. For me, I lost my father to suicide in 1994. And that was really, really hard. And it was so traumatic that my girlfriend that I was with for 2 years, my first love, ran away. She said, I can't handle this. She left me. Within 2 weeks later, she was with another dude. And it broke me. I lost my dad traumatically. I lost my girlfriend. My family fell apart completely that year. We lost our finances. It was a year that broke me. I was 21 years old. In 2017, I found out that my business partner was stealing money from me. I had the opportunity for a dream to start my own business, to run my own business for 5 years. And I found out that my partner had put the business into serious trouble, tax problems, bribery, corruption, we had lawyers. I woke up in the morning, many mornings, thinking I was dying of a heart attack. I had chest pains. I couldn't breathe. My wife had to rush me to hospital on more than one occasion because I thought I was having a heart attack. But instead, I was having a panic attack. Yeah, just a panic attack. So I had to walk out of my own business. I had to leave my own business. That was difficult. And actually, leaving my own business was probably the best thing that I could have done. Ilana's here. I'm so sad. Hi, Ilana. I'm so sad because a friend just lost her mom. Sorry to hear that, Ilana. Yeah, I so much loss. So much loss has been going on. It's actually astounding. Every morning I run a platform for 200 people, and I look at the Q&A and I just see these stories that are so overwhelming about the loss that people have been through. So looking back at a year, your year, what year was it for you where you were broken? If you look back at that year, you survived. If you look back at that year, you started to piece yourself back together again. And you got through it. You're not the same. You're definitely not the same, but you started to piece yourself back together. And you gave yourself some sort of meaning. You gave yourself some meaning and some purpose. And it reminds me so much of a psychologist during the Second World War, Dr. Viktor Frankl. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Dr. Frankl. Super famous, published a book called Man's Search for Meaning. It's one of the best books you can ever read. It's very hard. It talks about his time in the concentration camp, and then towards the end of the book goes into logotherapy, which is a therapy and a psychology that Frankl actually developed. It's really brilliant, but it's a hard story. And Frankl found that the worst time being a prisoner in Auschwitz in Nazi Germany, where people gave up hope. People had broken pieces that they could not put back together. People would not wake up in the morning. They would lie in their bed and say to Victor, I'm sorry, I can't get out of bed today. And then, of course, the guards would come and they would take that person, and that person would go to the gas chambers because they were no longer productive. And Frankl found that the people that kept hope alive, that had meaning and purpose, were the ones that survived, were the ones that said, I'm going to get out of bed, I'm going to work, it's the worst possible condition, and I will survive. And they often did. So there was a big difference with those that just could not fix those broken pieces, could not try to glue them back together again. So we're looking now at the glue. I've got my glue over here. I've been busy working on my bowl. It's very strong glue. Like my fingers just get stuck while I'm playing with it. And I've been working on my bowl, and I've been putting my broken pieces back together again with the glue. And if we look at glue, what is your glue? Think about it. What do you like to do? Do you listen to music? Do you focus more on your work? How do you put broken pieces back together again? Maybe we talk to friends and family. Maybe we go into hibernation, or we isolate, or maybe we exercise and we find our sort of togetherness, or putting ourselves back together through that. Faith, spirituality, our religion, professional counseling, online support groups like this is. Or maybe we ate and drank ourselves more because we couldn't cope. What is your glue? How do you put yourself back together? I would love to know. How do you actually take this glue and then put yourself back together? And for me, it's been my meditation, my exercise, and just every day feeling an overwhelming and powerful sense of gratitude. And then following in the footsteps of Frankl, meaning and purpose, to develop meaning and purpose. And also do things like kintsugi, just taking something, breaking it, and then slowly piecing it back together. It is an art form, a very gentle art form, and one can just put music on and relax. So I've managed to piece back some of this bowl. It's not perfect. It's not perfect at all. And I have a paintbrush. So I've got all the glue in there. The pieces are pretty much stuck together. But then there's the gold. There's the gold. Start to paint in between the cracks. And it's nice to have a little tissue nearby so that you can wipe a lot of the paint that goes over, so that the paint really stays within those cracks. It's nice and tidy. And just gently and slowly painting as you go. Making some meaning and purpose out of our broken pieces. And we will never be the same bowl as we were when we started out. But that's okay. And to think, maybe the people that love you in your life, they love you because of your broken pieces, because of what you've been through, the person that you are, and also how you've put yourself back together again. And yes, it's not perfect. It really isn't. It's different now. It's become something different. It's now a work of art that I can put on my cupboard here and display it with pride and say, yes, it's cracked, it's broken, but it's stuck together and it's covered in gold. The lines are like a map of recovery and healing and meaning, that I can derive so much meaning out of this. And this is what the ancient art of kintsugi can give us. I'd like to end just with a little bit of a practice. Imagining yourself, your body, all these little broken pieces. Imagine now just breathing into those broken pieces. Like a light, a golden light that fills the cracks, giving us hope and meaning. And actually we can feel joyful for what we've been through, how we've recovered, and be proud of those cracks and the gold that we shine into those cracks, making our new masterpiece. Kintsugi is a reflection of life. We all get hammered, we all get knocked, and we have to sit with our pieces, and we find a way to redefine what wholeness looks like and how to make something beautiful of the life that we have. Also, the hammer, the relationship to this hammer, that our bowl will be knocked again and again. You can believe it. This is not going to go away. But now we have an understanding of what glue we can use, what works for you. And we can recover. We can glue ourselves back together, and we can continue filling ourselves with golden light or gold paint. And I guess that's the homework, friends, is find a bowl, definitely not your mother-in-law's. Find an old bowl that nobody uses, or a vase that's collecting dust. Crack it. Think about the broken pieces. Sit with it. And then find the glue. Stick it back together. Get some gold paint and fill in those lines. Put it proudly on your mantelpiece as a symbol of what you've been through. Thank you, friends, for joining today and for experiencing the beautiful ancient art of kintsugi. I still have many, many more bowls that I need to fix. This is just one of them. That's the end of our session today. Thank you for logging on, and we will see you soon. Please be well, and please understand your broken pieces are important, and it's okay to acknowledge them, to talk about them. It's okay to ask for help if you need to. Please help me put my pieces back together because I can't. Sometimes someone has to help us, and that's okay. Thanks for joining, friends, and we will see you soon. It's Mark Joseph from Mindful Revolution. Until next time, goodbye, be well, and be safe. Peace, love.